Le groupe se rencontrait dans un hôtel des Pays-Bas, l'hôtel Bilderberg, dont ils ont conservé le nom. Au cours de l'une de leurs réunions, David Rockefeller, que beaucoup de gens considèrent comme un marionnettiste dirigeant les chefs de file du monde entier, a suggéré de créer une commission qui est devenue la commission trilatérale.
Que savez-vous de l'organisation mondiale Bilderberg, moi je n'en avais jamais entendu parler, qui réunit chaque année les personnages les plus influents du monde. Vous connaissez ça, vous?
Non.
Ben voilà.
Je connais Davos,
en direct,
je connais la tricontinentale, je connais Davos, mais je connais pas...
En tout cas, je ne connais pas du tout cette organisation, donc je n'ai rien.
C'est une invention d'un téléspectateur.
Vous voulez vérifier qu'on
Je me méfie beaucoup de ces organisations mondiales qui, dans l'ombre, se réunissent et distribuent en quelque sorte les dividendes et les rôles. C'est une vision de complot de l'histoire.
Monsieur, bonsoir. Les personnalités les plus influentes du monde réunies dans le plus grand secret à Genval, dans le Brabant wallon. Chaque année, le groupe Bilderberg se rassemble dans un pays différent pour discuter des grands problèmes internationaux. Des réunions depuis toujours entourées de mystères. À Genval, Grégory Willock et Denise Clocart ont pu apercevoir notamment la reine Béatrix des Pays-Bas.
Où effectivement, par exemple, le groupe Bilderberg réunit de manière annuelle, comme Davos, lors d'un meeting, 120 personnes, une centaine de personnes, et les participants sont des ministres, des dirigeants de multinationales, des dirigeants d'organisations internationales, et pendant 5 jours, on se retrouve dans un hôtel isolé pour pouvoir parler à votre temps. Et ce n'est pas du tout médiatisé, effectivement, c'est un espace clos, un peu secret.
Security for these meetings is extremely tight.
In my experience, especially in Europe, quite frequently the military itself is deployed. Then there's a large number of uniformed, armed cops.
Jim Tucker is a self-appointed Bilderberg watchdog. At the 1999 conference in Portugal, Tucker tries to get close to the hotel where the meeting is taking place.
In the cop rag, we have snipers on top of those boulders up there, and anybody going over that fence day or night, they're going to stay over that fence. So apparently they take security rather seriously.
The reason for all the security, say the conspiracy advocates, is obvious.
I don't think 120 of the world's most powerful men get together and play pinochle.
Ça fait partie des la trilatérale. Et Bilderberg. Je pense qu'il n'y a pas de 10% des gens qui savent ce que c'est, mais moi je vais le dire ce que c'est.
Ah bah sur Internet, tout le monde sait ce que c'est.
Mais ça fait partie des fantasmes de l'extrême gauche.
Peut-être même Skull and Bones pour toi.
Qu'est-ce que c'est quoi? Ah ça je connais pas.
Tu connais pas Skull and Bones?
Non.
Tu fais semblant de ne pas connaître Skull and Bones.
Mais il y a encore temps à l'apprendre.
Bon, vas-y.
Alors, ce sont des conférences internationales dans lesquelles on parle des grands problèmes du monde.
C'est démocratique, tu penses, de faire ça? C'est-à-dire de se réunir entre gens qui dirigent dans différents domaines, politiques, financiers, et qu'on ait le sentiment.
L'objectif du groupe de Bilderberg était une Europe unie qui débuterait par un marché commun. À présent, l'Union européenne cherche désespérément à faire ratifier une constitution par les pays membres, en vertu de laquelle les gouvernements déjà imposants de chaque État souverain seront dirigés par un gouvernement encore plus imposant, appelé Union européenne. Les bureaucrates contrôleront toute l'Europe. Il n'y aura plus de frontières, le règne d'une minorité sur la masse.
Aujourd'hui être membre du Grand Orient, mais aussi membre de la trilatérale, membre du siècle en France et membre de la trilatérale et du CFR, pour être adoubé par les maçonneries américaines, etc. Sinon on n'est qu'un petit joueur de province. Voilà. Donc il faut comprendre, c'est des réseaux qui s'articulent, et qu'un mec qui veut accéder au pouvoir, on voit bien l'ascension de Sarkozy, il comprend le monde des réseaux, il le t'aime, il le sait, et il additionne par un travail d'entrisme, de lèche-cutage, de soumission, il accumule le croisement des réseaux. Celui qui prend le pouvoir est celui qui a le plus de réseaux avec lui et qui participe au plus de réseaux. Et il faut savoir que ces réseaux vous protègent, mais ils ont des exigences. C'est comme j'explique dans le bouquin que la manière la plus simple de comprendre comment ça marche, c'est la mafia. La mafia n'est qu'une imitation par des sous-prolétaires calabrais, des systèmes de domination WASP. En fait, le monde politique, c'est pas qu'il ressemble à la mafia, c'est que la mafia ressemble au monde de la domination. À part que ça se fasse par la banque et la haute politique, ça se fait par la prostitution et le trafic de drogue, qui est le truc du bas des étages. Et d'ailleurs, quand les mafias montent, elles passent à la politique et à la banque. C'est le saut qualitatif, c'est-à-dire à la respectabilité, c'est-à-dire aux raquettes légales. Vous voyez, on fait voter des lois de raquettes légales. Voilà, c'est comme ça qu'on se rend compte que les élites de l'hyperclasse ne sont pas soumises à l'impôt, vous voyez, qu'elles ont droit à la prédation bancaire. Enfin, voilà, en fait, c'est le principe. Le pouvoir, c'est la raquette légale. Tant qu'on est dans le raquette illégale, c'est qu'on est quelque part dans le banditisme. C'est-à-dire qu'on n'a pas passé le plancher.
And what you're looking at here, staggeringly, is a group of people, some of the most famous people in America, in long gowns. Behind them there, you see a 40-foot stone owl. And there's the fire between them, next to the lake at Bohemian Grove. Now, one might wonder, understandably, why the people that run the banking, political, economic system and the media in America should be dressed in long robes, doing a ceremony to a 40-foot stone owl. I think we should be told.
What have Herbert Hoover, Art Linkletter, Jack London, and Richard Nixon all had in common? Well, they've all been members of the exclusive all-male Bohemian Club in California, where every year at this time, the elite from around the country get together for 2.5 weeks of fun and games.
Among its members are businessmen like Leonard Firestone and Edgar Kaiser, and political figures like Gerald Ford, Henry Kissinger, William French Smith, and George Shultz. President Reagan, Vice President Bush, and Defense Secretary Weinberger are members of other camps. Richard Nixon is a Bohemian, and so are high-ranking executives of such companies as Eastern Airlines, Standard Oil of Indiana, and Bank of America. Privacy is one of the Grove's most cherished virtues. Members may not photograph, record, speak, or write about activities at the retreat. While many public officials are Grove members, the press is a distinctly unwelcome guest.
We're from ABC News.
Well, get back there. Get back there.
Can we talk to somebody in the...
Get back there.
In the weeks that followed, Alex streamed his footage on his website and released it as a sell-through video. Everywhere I looked, the internet was aflame with news of the daring raid.
As the news spread across the planet that the Bohemian Grove had been blown wide open and that their secrets were public, the people were amazed. They were amazed to learn that many U.S. presidents and British prime ministers, German chancellors, the Hollywood elite, the heads of business and academia, Federal Reserve chairmen were traveling to the Grove each year, and that presidents had been going there since the turn of the last century in 1900. They were shocked by each new revelation of ritualistic depravity. This film is about what we've learned in the 5 years since we infiltrated the Grove. Finally, we learned that the Grove was only one chapter in a larger, worldwide secret society hell-bent on bringing in a one-world government. What would the people do if they knew that the majority of the leaders in the corporate world, as well as government, were deep occultists? Before the year 2000 and our successful penetration of the Grove, the mainstream media denied that rituals were indeed taking place there and said that elite from all over the world were simply meeting in secret to have a good time. After the footage we had shot of the cremation of care ritual aired first in England and then in the United States on national TV, the mainstream media changed their tune. The San Francisco Chronicle had previously refused to report on the Grove. After our infiltration, they wrote as many as 5 articles a year detailing the bizarre activities that were taking place inside the Grove, including the fact that top presidential advisor Karl Rove had tapped Arnold Schwarzenegger inside the Grove to run for governor on California's recall ballot. Even the vaunted New York Times reported on the Bohemian Grove, but attacked us for sneaking in. The New York Post was one of many national publications to report on all of the homosexual activities going on at the Grove. The Post reported in its page 6 gossip column that Chad Savage, gay porno star, was, quote, servicing the moguls at the Grove. But a disturbing theme ran through the body of the reportage. Okay, it's true. The elite meet behind closed doors, and there's gay porn stars and gay prostitutes being shipped in like beluga caviar. What's the big deal? Let's just let them have their privacy. And so they have lakeside chats calling for world government. Really, they're not bad people. The people we should watch are those that are exposing it. They're really dangerous weirdos. Of all the hit pieces that we've been victims of, the worst was conducted on national television by Brian Lamb, the director of C-SPAN, and some shifty-eyed professor they dug up, who appeared to be flashing Masonic hand signs, while he tried to eviscerate our character by implying that there wasn't even a ritual at all. Why, Alex Jones claims they do this ritual. Meanwhile, the Bohemian Grove has gone public to the newspapers, admitting they conduct rituals. Our source personally saw New Mexico Governor Bill Richardson in attendance, Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas, the famous newsman Walter Cronkite, and countless other luminaries. Without giving away the identity of our source, we can tell you this. The most elite encampment within the Grove is Mandalay. Other members of the Grove were not even allowed to approach within 100 yards of this compound, swarming with Secret Service, valets, private French cooks, and private security men. In the compartmentalized system of the New World Order, Mandalay is an elite within an elite, at the very top of the pyramid's capstone. In the fall of 2004, while in New York to cover the Republican National Convention, we ran into David Gergen, the Karl Rove of 4 presidential administrations.
Okay, one last question. I read a Washington Times article many years ago where you had a comment about the organization, and then now it's been in the Wall Street Journal, it's been in a lot of different newspapers, and that's the Bohemian Grove. And back in, what was it, 1996, when you joined as a Clinton advisor, the Republicans were criticizing you, oh, what about Bohemian Grove? And then you countered them by saying, hey, I don't run around in the woods naked. What did that mean?
Here is the before-mentioned Washington Times article where he said, I didn't run around naked like they do.
I don't know what quote you're referring to. I'm not aware of any quote like that. Listen, I am a happy member of the Bohemian Grove. I like the folks who come there, and it's really inappropriate for me to talk about the group beyond that. Thank you.
Have you been there for the ceremony with the cremation of care?
Frankly, I don't think that's something I need to talk to you about.
Really?
That's right.
Well, I'm Alex Jones, and I snuck in there in 2000. I'm the guy that blew it wide open and got the video. It's been on national TV.
Well, I disrespect you for that.